Welcome to the stream. I have named it Getting Lit instead of Get Lit While Getting Lit because I thought that name was just kind of too long. And Getting Lit just kind of, it's a better title for me, I think, moving forward. So with that, we have a new bottle this week. This is the Monkey Shoulder Original blended malt Scotch whiskey. I like Monkey Shoulder. It's a good one. So that's what we're going to drink today. While some people show up here, I'm going to be opening this fresh bottle up. Got no music in the intro today. We're just getting right into it. Smells pretty good. If you've never had Monkey Shoulder and you're of drinking age, it's a tasty one. I like it. We are a little late starting today, just like always. So I'm going to go ahead and get this shared up onto the Twitter. See if anyone would like to join. Boom. Tweeted. Close. All right. So today's topic. Let's hang on. Let's get this pop out chat. So I can hang out and talk with you guys. Here we go. Well, I will talk first about this little lighting setup that we've got going here. Try to keep it a little bit simple. Last time was a little out of control. We had like 7 or 8 different lights on or something like that. This time it's a little bit more simple. I wanted to pay homage to the first real lights that I was sent on my business, on my channel as I started taking it seriously. And that was from Lupo. Lupo sent out the Super Panel Full Color 30. It was the first real full RGB WW panel that I had. The first full color light, the first soft 1x1 that I had. And I've also got a grid on it. It's up here. This little guy providing the red, actually. Here we are. I'm going to show you guys. So I really like the full color 30. It's one of my favorite lights. It's pretty lightweight. It's VMAT powered or AC powered. And it's just a nice light, I really like it, so I decided to use that one along with the full color 60 over there, and that's providing the fill over here on the right side of my face. And then over for the whiskey shot. Whiskey. We've just got one of the little Lido Light 5Cs, giving us some nice little backlight for the whiskey there, just like that. Real simple, not too much going on here. It's not hard to have an interesting lighting or a different type of lighting style. If you got some full color lights, it's really easy to mix it up. I keep thinking that I need to have some incredible lighting scheme that blows everyone away, but you really don't, It's easy to have good lighting. How's it going, Nils? Thanks for showing up. Cheers, my friend. Yeah, Wednesday just kind of rolls around really quick, doesn't it? It feels like it was just a week ago that it's been Wednesday already. Audio feels super low. Let's see if we can fix that. Atom software control. Let's see if I can get this turned up a bit. Mic 1. How's this? Is this better? Does it sound a little bit louder? More appropriate? Audio's good for you, Nils? All right. Well, yeah, it's only been 7 days. Cheers, Eric. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing up, Press Reset, and the feedback on the audio. Much appreciated. Now, let's just get right into the meat of the subject. We've talked about lights a little bit. That's kind of what we do here. What is the topic for today? YouTube tech as a business. So that's kind of why I used the Lupo lights for the intro. Talk about these for the lighting scheme for the setup today. Is they were the first company that really sent out expensive lights as a sponsorship. Basically, kind of I say sponsorship, but it's not really a sponsorship, right? It's It's more of a partnership. A company sends you equipment, and they hope that you review it. Lupo was the first one that trusted me with an expensive piece of equipment. Now, I could have gone around and just sold the equipment on Craigslist or Gear Focus or wherever, right? Just on a used gear and then called that income. But then I would be cannibalizing my future business if I had done that. So I have a huge showdown planned with all these full color 1x1 panels. I've got, so far, the Lupo, we've got Aperture, there's one from Falcon Eyes, there's Velvet Light, the light panel's Gemini. Over the past year and a half or so, almost 2 years actually, I've reviewed all these different lights at different times in my YouTube journey, and I've just collected them. I've hoarded them and I've got a big pile of lights. And now I can go on and create the showdown that I've wanted to create. Like how I made that showdown with all the little pocket lights. And I'm planning a round 2 of those pocket lights because so many more are coming out. But if I had went ahead and just sold the gear that I reviewed right away, as soon as I was done reviewing it the first time I made a video, I would be cannibalizing my future content. But that's to everyone's own, that's each and everyone's prerogative or what they're going to do. I think that if you wanted to do this full time and you had a channel that was popular and companies were sending you gear to review, you're completely within your rights to sell the gear after you've reviewed it. That is the relationship, the what's expected, right? A company mails you something to review and you review it. At that point, it's fair game, right? You've earned it. That's your payment, so to speak. You put in hours creating a video, learning about the equipment, and then sharing that equipment with your audience. What you do at that point, it's really up to you. No, I don't work with companies that expect me to send gear back anymore. What's the point, right? It's like so to create the type of video that I want to create, I have to spend a whole week of my free time creating. It's I'd say there's a good 8 to 12 really productive hours per video that goes up, and I value my time way more than other companies are going to value my time. But let's say a healthy margin of a piece of equipment is 20 to 30%, right? Let's just say it's 25% of margin, right? That a company has on one of their products. Now, if I make a video and that video in the whole lifetime of the video existing refers 4 sales, the company that sent out the piece of equipment to the reviewer has made their investment back, right? And so anything beyond that is net positive. So that's only expecting that you sell 4 of them. If you've got 100 subscribers that are interested in what you're talking about, I mean, it's a win-win for everyone involved that's reviewing gear. Aaron agreed. What kills me is when the company wants the gear back. What's the point? Like, why am I going to bust my ass working, 8 to 12 hours? And that's a small number, by the way. People that do reviews and, other filmmaking channels, they can spend 40 to 60 to 80 hours on a single video. Are you going to work for a full week of effort and have nothing to show for it, I mean, why are you advertising for this company? Why are you, I mean, if the company makes a good product, they wouldn't have, if they didn't make a good product, they wouldn't have sent it to you in the first place. They know the product is good. They're trying to advertise. Do you know what the CPM costs to get views if they were to actually pay for like Google AdWords to pay for video views, full length views, not just like the skip to, click to skip? It's like, $30 to $150 CPM. That's for 1,000 views of an ad they would post on YouTube. It's going to cost them, $100. Like, that's a lot of money. You're doing them a favor if you have an audience and you're reviewing something. You have the thing of value. You have the audience in your niche. It doesn't have to be cameras or lights or lenses. It can be laptops, computer peripherals, or canoes, right? Like whatever you're an expert in, they want your expertise and they want your feedback and they want to reach your audience. You'll see companies that want to reach your audience advertising on your videos if you just watch your videos with like ad block turned off. Anyways, so I have a collection of lights and I'm using that collection of lights to create the content that I've wanted to create a long time ago. Now, there are things that get sent to me that I've reviewed in the past and I had no intention of using after the fact because it didn't fit into my workflow the way that I needed it to. Most of the things that I review, I'll try and find a way to fit it into my workflow to improve my production quality. My original goal for this whole YouTube channel of reviewing stuff was originally just to finance and build out a studio for filmmaking. That's it, right? I just wanted to make video reviews of stuff and then have companies send me stuff to improve the production quality of my subsequent videos. Well, now we're there. Now where does it go, right? So I've got a full studio. I've got all the lights that I could possibly want. I mean, more than I can. In fact, storage is an issue. I have a huge closet that's stuffed full of these things. So what am I supposed to do now? Right? Eric says, yeah, so many YouTubers are so grateful to companies for sending them gear, but it's actually the companies that should be thanking them. I 100% agree, right? I feel like a lot of people don't understand the business of YouTube or how to properly monetize a YouTube channel yet, or what goes into monetizing and turning your channel into a business. Maybe you're a tech review channel, right? Maybe you make a little bit of money with AdSense and maybe a little bit of money with affiliate marketing, but that's it. And you want to try and take like the next step. Well, there's a few ways to go about that, right? So some companies have direct affiliate programs. So if you have like an affiliate program with Amazon or with B&H or with Adorama or eBay, right? Those are like big conglomerate companies. I don't know if that's the right word. Hey, Photo Joseph, thanks for showing up. Those companies all have affiliate programs and they're all pretty standard for everybody. But if you reach out to companies directly, they generally have a much more lucrative affiliate program, especially if you really like that one company's particular products. Like with Amazon, B&H, and all them, you'll get between like 2, 3, maybe 4% if you're lucky. If you go to a direct affiliate route, then you'll probably get closer to like 10%. That's a much better percentage, especially if you're referring a lot of business with your channel. There's so many companies that have affiliate programs of services that you would normally just recommend anyways. And those are the best relationships because they're the easiest for you to derive an income from. But back to the tech, right? So I've got a pile of technology here. I think that I probably need to get rid of a few things that I haven't touched in over a year and convert that into more equipment for my channel, because one of my goals with this channel was to reinvest everything that I've made from the channel back into my content. So in order to do that now, that's going to be getting rid of some of the things that I've sunsetted, or recycle, basically recycling the content, or I'm sorry, recycling the gear into new gear, right? So take the value of the gear, convert it into the next piece of equipment that I need to use for my audience. You guys, stuff that I want to teach you about. I've always harped on, you don't need a great camera to get a great image. You just need good lights. Well, the best way to prove that is to go get a red Komodo and a Sony A7S III and a new iPhone, and then compare the three and try and make all the images as close to identical as possible, and talk about how to do that with lights. I feel like that's the next evolution of where this is going. So yeah, that's just something that I kind of wanted to talk about, and see what your guys' perspective was on that. We got some checking on these comments here. Let's scroll up to the top. What was first gear a company sent you? How many subs did you have? After I had about, I think it was like 1,000 subscribers, companies started, all the companies started coming out of the woodworks, offering me the most ridiculous things. Now that's an interesting thing. A lot of those companies said, buy this on PayPal and then we'll refund you. Don't ever engage in those types of relationships. If a company is requiring you to buy something and then telling you that they'll refund you after you've reviewed that equipment, don't do that. They've basically got your money hostage, and you are illegitimately incentivized to give a positive review because you want your money back. It's a toxic relationship. Don't ever engage in those types of things. So I started small with little things like that, and it was a bad idea. I shouldn't have done that. So I don't do that anymore. The first real companies that I started that actually sent me stuff to review and work with, I think Jinbei reached out to me and sent me a real light, which was really awesome. And then Aperture, and then I personally reached out to Lupo. And then we created a relationship, and this was before they really had any reviews on the internet. And then it kind of snowballed from there. Nils says, renting your gear out, promotions, partnership, paid ads, and stream revenuing. Solid list. Yeah. One thing I could do is rent out all this gear that I've collected. That would probably be a really nice full-time business, but I don't think that I have really the time to manage that type of business. I'd also have to get insurance. So that one I think is probably out for me. Promotions, partnerships, paid ads. Yeah. Sponsorships on the channel. I've got a few integrations coming up in a very organic format. Not so much like, this was sponsored by Storyblocks. I don't have a relationship with Storyblocks, by the way. I really like Artlist and ArtGrid. Those are the ones that I work with in terms of trying to create interesting promotions and partnerships. Stream revenue, I've not got that down. I think I enabled Super Chat and nobody gives a shit. So I don't think that's going to be my awesome revenue stream. Let's see. For most, it's not worth the cost of recovery and refurbing. I think that's if we send stuff back. Always ask if they want, always ask if they want it back first before they send anything. I did have one company send me something, and then while I was reviewing it, tell me that they wanted, so when can we get this back? And I was like, never. And so I deleted the video that I was doing, and I just let them come pick it up on their own time. And so that was the last time that's ever happened. Now I'm always like, by the way, if you're sending me something, it's not coming back. It stays here with me. That's how all the companies do it. It doesn't, if you're always sending gear back to companies after you review it, you're getting ripped off. You are wasting your time and they're taking advantage of you. And I hate that. All right, let's get over here. I do know a couple of people that rent their gear out, and they are having success, but I don't think that I have the time for that. Gear you got for review but aren't using yourself. Yeah. It's a possibility. What about head-to-head tech comparisons? I do a lot of comparisons and head-to-heads. Those are my huge gear showdowns. But after I do the huge gear showdown, what is there? It's I can compare one light to everything that exists, and then that light is done. I mean, I can either use it in my studio or recycle it into the next, piece of content. Or maybe if I can't create a relationship with a company, they don't want to work together, I can sell that piece of gear and then turn that into the thing that I couldn't create a relationship with a company in order to review. That's how I see this type of channel growing, is if a company's not going to sponsor a video, you can still get that thing because you have equity in all the stuff that you've already reviewed. Do I intend on reviewing the Orbiter? I tried creating a relationship with Ari. I went down there. We had a good meeting. I got hands-on the Orbiter when they were still developing it. I gave them some advice. And we were going to get a sky panel in here. And then they were going to have me go out and do the first unboxing of the Orbiter in their studio and film that. But then COVID hit. And also they said that they weren't going to do the sky panel thing. And it just seemed like, why am I going to go spend a whole weekend at Ari's studio to create a commercial for the Orbiter for free? Like, that's not good business. Like, why am I going to do that? So if Ari would like to send me an Orbiter, I will do my best to review it. But in the meantime, I think that there's so many viable alternatives and ways for me to create content that it just seems like it'd be a waste of money to buy an Orbiter, especially because I don't think that I would be able to sell it. It's too expensive and too niche of a product to try and resell. So that would be a very challenging thing for me to convince myself to acquire. Photo Joseph coming in hot with the $4.99. Thank you. We do care. It just takes a lot of viewers. Good night, brother. Thank you so much, Photo Joseph. I really appreciate you. Cheers to that. Nils, do you have any use for gimbals? I have 3 or 4 gimbals, and ever since I got my hands on the Rhino Arc 2, I have not turned on my gimbal one time. I found that I'm only using gimbals to create the types of shots that I wanted to create with the Rhino Arc 2. I'm in my studio. I've got everything I need. It's all on wheels. I can just move it around, get the shots, hit the A point, hit the B point, hit go, record, done. With a gimbal, I'm going back and forth, trying to get it perfectly smooth, it's so hard to get the shot that I want to get for the type of B-roll that I usually do with a gimbal. So no, I don't really have any use for gimbals anymore at this point in time. Especially now that, we're all stuck inside for the foreseeable future. So I highly recommend a motion control system. I don't know if the Rhino Arc 2 is the right motion control system, but it's significantly better and easier to use than a gimbal. I do wish that it had a built-in V-mount battery slot. That would make it so much better. CineX, I think the future of creating and leading a successful channel is by being honest and reliable. I agree with you there. You can kind of tell when someone has, been paid off for the cheesy sponsorships. Okay. So I think a great example of this and also a bad example of this is that, MKBHD video where he reviewed a Buick or something. I watched the whole thing and I felt like he was dying inside while he was making that video. I know that he is an honest, awesome, great dude. Tons of respect for him. One of my original inspirations for starting a YouTube channel. But that video, man, I feel like he just needed to make some money, and he was given a serious NDA with a big paycheck, and he was not allowed to say certain things. I don't know. That video was just I'm good for you making the paycheck, but it doesn't feel like that's the right way to go. And he did this whole video about, can you trust MKBHD after that? I don't know, that I feel like just being yourself and trying to let your personality shine through when you're reviewing stuff is great. And I found actually, this is really interesting. I found that when I'm always as honest as I can be in all of my review videos and everything that I talk about with gear. I point out all the negatives. I find that the videos where I point out every single negative possible converts higher in terms of affiliate marketing, because people don't need to go look at any more videos to see if there's anything else wrong. Being honest converts higher. It makes more sales. It's so weird that brands like cringe or like are afraid of people saying bad things about their products. One, that's market research. That's advice. That's straight from the source. It's the things that they want you to change in order to make it better. So V2 will sell even better. But also once you give someone all the information, they can make an informed decision. So there's no reason not to be honest. Where will you take it next then, most likely? I wonder if you're talking about my channel. I think I covered that a little bit earlier. Just upcycling gear that I'm no longer going to be talking about into the next bit of gear that I need in order to create the content that I want to. So I am going to sell off my Nikon Z6 system. Z6, the 24-70 f2.8s, the 14-30 f4, and the Laowa 15mm f2. I'm selling off the whole Nikon system, and I'm going to convert that into a Sony a7S III system. And then I'm also selling off a few of the older lights that I haven't talked about in over a year or two, and I'm not using in any future showdowns. And I'm going to convert that into a Red Komodo series, or Red Komodo set. And then I'm going to make videos comparing those two cameras to my super old cameras and my GH5, and like a little $300 Micro Four Thirds camera that I have. Just trying to show how close you can get images from all of these cameras, the best ways to do it. And for anyone that doesn't know, my wife runs a print shop, right? It's kind of a print shop. She has big printers, and I decided to make some of these things. So these are color charts, and I made them, right? With a bunch of different inks and color profiles. And I tested them, and they are remarkably close to what you can get with the X-Rite color checkers. And I can sell, 5 or 6 of these for $20-25. And also, you can peel the back off and stick them to walls. I have plans, I want to making content more accessible to people. Why does a chart of colors cost $125? That's ridiculous. X-Rite should be ashamed of themselves. I don't know. You can get so close with just a little, some high quality inks and a shop that's set up to do it. So I'm going to show people what I did with that. If anyone wants to, take that idea and run with it, do it. I don't have the energy to run a whole business selling, stickers. I just want to make, I want to teach. I want people to be informed and know that you don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars on camera equipment to get a good image. And in order to do that, I have to spend the money on the cameras to show you the differences between the expensive cameras and the cheap cameras and what you can achieve with good lighting. So that's kind of the future of where this is going, I think. Press reset says, wait until things start showing up that you don't ask for, and you have to store log influx 30 packages a day. It could change your mind. Things already show up that I don't ask for. A lot of the brands that I've worked with have my address and they just send me stuff. Sometimes I don't have time to review things, and if I'm not, I have a schedule. So I keep a schedule. Oh, sorry guys. I have a schedule. I have a list of all the videos that I'm going to make, what week I'm going to make them. And because I've only got time to produce at most one video a week, so I have to schedule these things ahead of time. So if a company sends me something, it might show up on the live stream now because I'm doing these on Wednesday nights. But if it's not scheduled, I don't have time for it. Period. Getting some love for the monkey shoulder over here. It's a tasty one, man. I really like the monkey shoulder. Post Color Gear, thank you for showing up, man. You finally made it. And if you guys don't know, Post Color Gear is an awesome channel. Really informative about filmmaking and a lot of tutorials on color grading. And, just subscribe to him if you haven't and you want to learn more about filmmaking. He's a great resource. He's talking to Aaron, did that too once, and that was it for me. Nonsense. I returned the product. They weren't happy, and I told them the amount they refunded me was the cost of the Amazon review. Also, hey, I finally made a Tommy live stream. Hey, thanks for showing up, man. Appreciate you. I feel they should understand that channels like yours would have a higher sale per view than a typical channel that targets kids. Yeah. It's a lot easier to get companies to send you equipment for your niche, especially if you have a lot of videos about that niche, particularly if your channel doesn't target kids and create that kind of content. So, I mean, that's a given. Nils makes sense. You're not running around anywhere. Probably talking about the gimbal stuff. Nor do you have a large studio space like Josh's last video. Yeah, Josh Yo, Make Art Now, he's got like the ideal sized studio for a creator. I'm very jealous of the space that he has. He's got about, 6 times as much space in his, that was an understatement. He's probably got 10 times as much space in his studio than I have in this tiny little bedroom studio. I went and I actually collaborated with him in there, and we worked on one of his videos together. It was a lot of fun. His space is great. He does have some neighbors that make pretty loud noise, so that's something he gets around. He's a creative genius. I love that guy's videos. Quasnick Pictures. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Oh man, finally joined in time. Fire. That guy has like the best Instagram feed. If you guys need, you should check out his Instagram feed. Ninja Please, if photons experience no sense of time at the speed of light, we shouldn't feel bad for exploiting lights for personal gain, right? Yeah, that's a fact, obviously. Poor Nikon. I left them too. Yeah, the Z6 Mark II just seems so lackluster. So I've got to hawk that. Sell the gear. Sin X, good choice, Nils. Nils, still nice for taking photos of our foster kitties with the f1.8 35mm lens I have, but that's about it. One thing I do like about the Z6 is SnapBridge. The integration with the iPhone. Once you pair the Nikon with your phone, as soon as you turn your camera on and take a picture, it'll send a 2 megapixel image over to your phone that you can then use to either send to people or use for social media purposes. That's one thing I'm really going to miss when I inevitably sell my Nikon Z6 to the first person that offers me a reasonable price. By the way, it's for sale. DM me. Siova, dope looking stream. Thank you. Thanks for showing up. Nils, couldn't you just rent a Komodo? I could, but then I wouldn't own a Komodo. So there's that. Good pictures are achieved by mastering light. Facts. Katie Calloway, I agree with Nils. Rent it instead of buying it. Hey, that's my wife. I love you. This is Tech Today. Sup? Thanks for showing up, man. Aaron Perecki, Tommy Calloway, thanks again for coming on my stream on Sunday. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, if you guys don't know, Aaron, he runs a stream on Sundays, and I was there on Sunday. So go subscribe to him and give that video full watch time. This is Tech Today. Sup, Aaron Perleski. Press reset. In New York City, I had to get an office and then a larger office, plus a storage facility. So much stuff was showing up. Before that, there were so many packages showing up to my apartment, it was impossible. I couldn't sell things fast enough. Press reset. How many subscribers do you have? And how long did it take you to get buried in packages at that level? I'm curious. Aaron Presky. Hey, Brandon. Good that you have enough space for all that stuff, because I sure didn't. Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons I'm selling some of the gear is I don't have space. It's full, and next year is next season. next season of gear, they're going to send me stuff and it's just going to pile up all over the place. So you've got to cycle out some of the gear. That's just something that's going to happen. What time is it over there? It is currently 10:45 p.m. Press reset 25K. I was buried by 25,000 subscribers. I was buried by 20,000 subscribers. It crushed me. The expense was too high for space in New York City. That makes sense. New York City is very expensive. Katie, my wife. He's selling gear because his wife doesn't want more stuff and he has to justify buying more. Ha. Yeah. She's very supportive of me getting packages, as you can see. Pasmandon Kame, I think I pronounced that right. Potato Jet got an Airy for $6K via eBay, $6,000. Probably something to consider for that camera comparison series. Also, Monkey Shoulder is chef's kiss. Yeah, Monkey Shoulder is tasty. I was going to go with Highland Park, but it was more expensive, so I went with Monkey Shoulder. And that was why Monkey Shoulder tastes better this evening. Who has questions about the most recent video we got with the Nanlite Lidolite 5Cs and the Altitube? That was a fun one. I really like how this one's got the magnets in it, and I've got the Showdown Round 2 coming up. There's several companies in the inbox that have been wanting to send out more pocket lights, and so I think I'm just going to arrange that. And we're going to start seeing what else has happened in the pocket light tech world for the last little while. Here we go. What about that? That's cool. Top light. Boom. That was cool. I like that. In a weird way, this is Tech Today. In a weird way, you review something that you bought that you wanted. After that, every company out there that makes something like it send you stuff, and now you have too many of that one thing. Yeah, that's kind of what happens, right? You get a gimbal because you're excited about it. My beautiful wife actually got me one that I wanted for Christmas, and then I talked about it, and then 3 other companies sent me gimbals, and now I don't use a gimbal. It's just, it's like I got gimbal saturated. It's interesting how that happens. Doing impressions of gear on live stream is not a bad way to go, actually. I thought Curtis Judd do that. I saw Curtis Judd do that with some stuff he didn't have time to make proper videos for. Yeah, that's a comfortable way to go about it because there's no expectation, right? A live stream doesn't generally get a ton of views after the stream is over, maybe after the first day. So it's a comfortable way to let the company know that, like, hey, I talked about your thing on my channel. Here it is, without actually having to produce a video, because it doesn't cost any time to produce a video after the stream is over, Yikes indeed. 1.5 years of doing that is about the end of that. Press reset. Niels Kotis, check the Altitubes out. The 180C with 140 watts is half the price of a Nova. That it is. Those aren't cheap. The 180C, how big is that? It's like a 6-foot light, right? That's a huge tube. So, I mean, if you need a big tube, that's a solid tube. This is Tech Today. The top light is the vibe. Nils Kotis, I mean, it's cool. It's cool 70 degrees. I'm not sure. Press reset. Glad that Tommy is getting on well with that and growing. Great channel. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. It's like, yo, why didn't you just send this to me when I asked you the first time? Right? Yeah, because they'll ignore your emails if you don't have any experience with their products. And then after you've got one, like, okay, here it is. It's like, well, I don't want it anymore. Spicy knives. Any tips for product display? I'm having some trouble photographing my hand forged mirror polished chef knives. Hand forged mirror polished chef knives. Yes. Lots of diffusion. If you get a ton of diffusion, you won't worry about seeing the reflection of the light itself. Particularly like if you get a 6x6 frame. That'll make it so you can just reflect directly into the diffusion, and you want to get it really close to the knife itself. That way you're just seeing the details of the knife, and any reflection is just the diffusion. And you also want to make sure that your focus plane is just on the knife itself. That way the reflection of whatever it is reflecting is also out of focus, so you're not having any details in the mirrored reflection of that type of knife. Product photography is something that I do on my Instagram, basically, and I've more recently taken up doing product photography of myself. Generally, it has it involves having a nice backlight, which is a nice outline, some type of color, and then the subject, which is me plus whatever the product is. So if you have specific questions about product photography, let me know. I do it sometimes, I guess, just for fun. Ramon says, "Don't you mean gimbal anxiety?" Yeah, I think I had one instance actually when the gimbal flipped out and like almost twisted the camera into itself and it broke itself. But yeah, that's a whole nother topic. Nils 70 inches, it's an ADC. That's a huge light, yeah. Katie Calloway, I'm signing off. Don't let him buy anything new. Yeah. All right, she's gone, guys. What can I buy? Cindy X, I watch him closely. We'll keep him honest. Have a good night. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. By the way, Indie Mogul has some nice videos on taking photos of reflective things. Yes, they do. I really like Indie Mogul, and I know some of the guys over there. They're some of the smartest guys in the filmmaking industry. Oh, I'm supposed to tell you guys what to buy. Okay, well. I'm selling my Nikon Z6. It's got a 24-70 f2.8 lens with a 14-30 f4 and a Laowa 15mm f2 zero distortion lens. I have one. It's for sale. You can have it for $5,250 for the whole kit with 2 batteries and 2 XQD cards and a 32 gigabyte. So 228 gigabyte XQD cards, a card reader, and a 32 gigabyte XQD card. If you were to buy all this stuff at retail, it would cost you $6,300, and that's before tax and before shipping. But if you buy mine, you will buy it for $5,250. Just saying. Just saying. It's for sale. Tommy's ASMR stream. Yeah. Spicy Knives. What's your Insta? Didn't see it in the description. Crap. It's Instagram.com, obviously. TG Calloway. There we go. Thanks, Nils. Yeah, that's my Instagram. I'm also fairly active on Twitter. So, same thing, TG Calloway. Tweet me stuff. I tweet things. We can be Twitter friends. We can Twitter each other. I think that's the term, right? Cinex, damn, my girlfriend talks like Katie right now. Don't let him buy stuff. Yeah, Twitter's where the party's at. There's some shenanigans on Twitter. There's a few people in the filmmaking community. This is Tech Today is one of them. And then there's the Everyday Dad. There's me. There's a few people that talk about specific things all the time. And I always talk about lights, or I segue conversations into lights. The Everyday Dad always segues every conversation into 30 FPS and how he doesn't actually review cameras anymore, but there's a place in his heart for him. Twitter's where it's at. Yeah, where the depression is at, especially with those trending headlines, right? Oh, Twitter. Twitter is the only social media platform that I enjoy using, to be honest. That's because that's where conversations happen, right? It's a very conversational platform. I like Twitter a lot. I only recently started using it like 2 months ago. So we've only got about 7 more minutes here. I'm probably going to cut it off right at 11 o'clock tonight. But we have time for a few more questions, I suppose. I've got everything off my chest really about the whole YouTube as a business, I think. And what to do with gear after you review it. Keep it, do more videos about it, or recycle it into the next piece of content that you can't get a sponsorship for. try and approach companies directly for direct affiliate relationships. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. I'm not a super pro. I'm not full time. It's just a hobby for me. So, there's people that have better advice than I do, but I feel like we're doing okay here. And I think that we've got an awesome little community, some awesome questions once in a while. And I always appreciate all you guys for showing up. Nils, use your Aperture connections to tell me how long I'll have to wait for the boxed Nova. I will. I'll shoot a message over and see if I can get any info on when the boxed Nova. Do you mean the one with the carrying case? I'm not sure what the boxed Nova is. Aaron says the secret to using Twitter is to put all the cool people in a Twitter list and then only look at that list timeline instead of the main Twitter feed with the case. Yeah, I'll see if I can get a word on that. Yeah, I think that's the secret, Aaron. I think a few people I've seen follow like millions of people, and then they're still able to have engaging conversations somehow. I guess it's probably with a list that they follow specifically. That's interesting. I like that. I like that idea. And use your mutes words. Mute everything. Mute. Yeah, no, I don't mute people really. So I don't know. I would have canceled my order immediately with B&H and ordered using your affiliate link if it's available. Well, Nils, I'm gonna definitely follow up for that on you. Mute the entire platform and don't use it. That's the right way to use Twitter, right? Just mute everything. Feel like you're a pro at that point. Well, guys, I think that the glass is about empty. The conversation is no longer about filmmaking. So we're going to call this one an evening. And I'm going to let you all know that I appreciate you very much for showing up and shooting the business with me. I'll see you guys next time on Getting Lit with me at 10 p.m. Wednesday Pacific Standard Time, because that's all I've got time for. See you guys next one. If you guys want something else to watch, go watch my most recent video. It's about LEDGO's Altitubes, and the got the little Lido lights in there and a couple of other lights. And it's about 10 minutes, and you should enjoy it. Watch it all the way through. Don't cheat me on that watch time. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys in the next time. Or in the next one. I know what I said. All right. See you guys.